you.
Green lights on.
Green light, go ahead. One of the great things about Carameus is the wind. If you're growing hay in the middle of summer. I'd first like to kick this loose with some thoughts about some history in this area, which is rich in history. The word Carameus, Similkameen, Sawyers are all Native American words, Native Indian words. The word Carameus, I'm not sure really what it means. It could mean meeting of the winds, which wouldn't be too unusual. It could also mean where the water parts, referring obviously to the river. Not sure what the Sawyers means. It could mean much tourists in summertime. In 1858, pressure from the Hudson Bay Company, then Governor James Douglas of British Columbia, commissioned a man by the name of John Fall Allison to establish a trail to the southern interior. Understand that this region was cut off from the lower mainland as we know it today because of the mountains, and we largely related south. We didn't relate the other way. And when the border was established in the mid-1800s, then it seemed imperative that that part of the country would relate to this part of the country. And so pressure from the Hudson Bay Company, the governor commissioned John Fall Allison to find and establish the easiest route into this area. After establishing the trail, he settled here. He liked what he saw. He married a native woman who had a 40-head pack string, and she would ferry supplies from Rock Creek. There was a mine there at the time. From Rock Creek to Fort Hope, as it was then called. And he married her, and the Allison name is very strong within the Native community between Princeton and here. The Hope Princeton Highway, largely from Princeton to Hope, the Hope Princeton Highway followed that trail that John Fall Allison cut in. And in '49, when the Hope Princeton Highway was completed, 5 hours after the highway was opened, the first fatality took place. The car went off the road with 5 individuals in it. 3 of them died due to their injuries. In this area here, there's many roads and locations that bear the names of families that once were. In 1858, Richard Lowe Costin came to the area, and hence we have a community bearing that name. Bromley Rock would ring a bell, Porcello Canyon, Richter Pass. These all bear the names of the family once was. Armstrong Road, McCurdy Road, Schneider Road, Coulthard Road, Ashnola Road, and Tweddle Street. Tweddle Street bears the name of Albertan Tweddle. This individual captures my attention, not because I knew him, but because I didn't. Mr. Tweddle was a man's man. He didn't watch it happen. He made it happen. Part of his legacy included a very successful ranching career. Crater Mountain included his lease where he ran cattle. I've extensively ridden Crater Mountain. I know it very well. Walk with me for a moment with your imagination. If you know Crater Mountain, it's like an island mountain, if you will. It rises from the landscape. There's no mountains near it. 6,300 feet. You can look to the west and see the mountains of Manning Park. You can look to the north. You can see Apex Mountain and those surrounding mountains. You look to the south. You can see the mountains of Cathedral Park, Haystack Mountain, Twin Buttes. You can look across the line where the mountains are on the U.S. side. You look to the east, you see the country of South Slope, White Mountain, Snowy Mountain, etc. It's a very unique mountain. Miles and miles of alpine interspersed with aspen and pine trees. Now quite devastated by the fire that we had a few years ago. When I spend time up there, particularly when I have a string of cattle in front of me that are lined out and things are going well, I realize, I'm reminded, I'm riding the trails that Hal Tweddle cut in. You can hear a meadow lark off in the distance, a ground squirrel on his rock, perched there, chirping away, sounding the alarm. And startled like by the shrill scream of a red-tailed hawk, out of the solitude and quietness in my heart, burst the question, when was the last time Hal Tweddle rode these trails? We all walk a pathway through life. We all have the choice of leaving a legacy, and there will be one, good or bad, forgotten or remembered. We all walk pathways that we have established and that we have cut in. I've ridden a fair bit in the Rocky Mountains as well. And interestingly, when you come to the height of land where it divides between Alberta and BC, the very trail that you were just on, there's a sign there. It says, no horses beyond this point. At the conclusion of life, we've walked a pathway, we've established a pathway. Sometimes our own pathway intersects with another pathway, and we follow that pathway. At the conclusion of life, when will be the last time we've walked our pathway? A very realistic question. One of the realities of spending time in the outdoors, you either follow a pathway or the term bushwhacking becomes a reality. Going through life, following a pathway is better than bushwhacking. And when we reach the height of land, when we reach the Great Divide, where it's from this side to that side, may we carry an assurance that the trail that we encounter there will be a sign that will be a welcoming one, not a sign that says, you can't come here. In the Old Testament, God used the prophet Jeremiah. And in chapter 6 and verse 16, Jeremiah draws attention to an ancient pathway. It's described as a good pathway, and that you would find rest for your soul. When Jesus came along, he cut that pathway even clearer, creating a pathway of hope and redemption. Perhaps for those who are bushwhacking, when life doesn't make as much sense as it seems to other folks, and definitely how it could be. To cut in on the trail that Jesus created leads to a good life, finding rest for our souls. And when we come to the Great Divide, from this side to that side, there will be a sign there, welcome. Right on, cowboy, welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, band.
A couple of songs. Before we do that, I should just let you know that when Pastor Dwayne contacted me here 2-3 months ago to find out if I could pull a group together to play and to lead you this morning, and he was referring to the band that I played with for about 20 years, and we played your Cowboy Church twice. I think the last time was about, 12, 15 years ago, called Back Porch Gospel. It was a bluegrass band. And I told him that, that bluegrass band, as he's been talking about the trail and the journey that we're on, well, that journey has come to an end because 3 of our band members, they're getting the band back together in glory now. And we're looking forward to the time when we can join them and we'll make it a whole team again. But I was thinking about that place of rest that Dwayne was talking about. I also direct a 50-voice choir, folks from about 9 different churches, and we play all through the valley here. We have a full band and we play in various different churches. And a couple of weeks ago we were doing a church and we were about to move into this song that we're going to do. And I had asked one of our members to introduce that song, and he told his personal story of the journey that he'd been on and what made a huge impact on him at the beginning of that journey. Now, he's about the same age as I am, and so he told a story. It was from 1959 when he was 4 years old. And he said that he was riding in a car with his father who was driving. There were no seat belts. He was in the middle and his dad's friend was sitting in the passenger seat. And they were driving down the road and they were going the speed limit, but they didn't see that there was somebody on the side that blew through a stop sign, came right in front of them, and they T-boned that car. And he said in the blink of an eye, before he could do anything, his father's friend right next to him grabbed him and wrapped his arms around him just as they T-boned that car, and he and his father's friend were launched through the windshield, over that car, and out onto the roadway. And the people came from the side, and he was covered in blood. And they went and they thought, oh man, is this little boy, this young boy, is he even alive? And they cleaned him off, and he told the story, and he said, the amazing thing, I was covered in blood, but when they cleaned everything off, there was not a scratch on me because it wasn't my blood. He said it wasn't until a few years later that I realized that's what Jesus did for me. I'm the one that should have been flown through there, and I deserve to be dead, but he wrapped his arms around me. It wasn't my blood, it was the blood of Jesus. The song that we're gonna do that you'll probably know is a song called The Goodness of God. And it really does talk about the journey, the trail of our life. All my life, He's been faithful. And as you sing this with us, think about the journey you have been on, the faithfulness of God. And if you don't know Jesus, you can know that all throughout your life, even if you haven't recognized it, He's been watching. He's been calling. And He's been faithful, even if you haven't realized it. So sing this with us, Goodness of God.